Hey guys, I am MG, and today I'll be looking at K-pop Demon Hunters, which is a 2025 American animated musical fantasy film that is about a K-pop group of demon hunters facing off against a boy band who are secretly demons, and it was directed by Maggie Kang and Chris Appelhans, with the latter previously being seen in Wish Dragon, and they also wrote the script with other people as well. However, why don't we stop singing and start reviewing right now? I don't really know where to start with this film, since it has a bunch of aspects to talk about, and most of them are really worthwhile. I didn't particularly care about the relationship between Rumi and Jinu. Their romance wasn't very sweet, and despite having a decent song together, and a good moment later on, I don't think their chemistry was all that special, and it was definitely the weakest part. And it doesn't help that I don't care about Jinu that much. He has a conflict with leaving his family behind, and I don't know what it is, but this conflict wasn't very interesting, and it didn't have enough of a dramatic weight I would have liked it to have. The screenplay can also become quite repetitive, since after the boys show up, the story, while engaging, did kind of have the same plot beats over and over again, with the friends arguing over the song or the scenes with Jinu, which kind of start to drag the pacing down as well, and I wish that there was a bit more levity with the plot, since it wasn't portrayed in its best execution, with the second act being very solid, but as I said, it wasn't as investing as I wanted it to be. They could have also made a conflicting relationship between Rumi and Celine, but outside of one really strong moment, they don't do anything about it, which is kind of a bummer, but I guess I understand why they decided not to make it anything substantial. But outside of these issues, I was pretty much on board with everything else happening on screen. The animation was very striking visually, and immensely expressive, with a lot of different visual styles in it, that makes the animation stand out among most other animated films. And nothing about it looked generic. Everything was incredibly eye-popping. The humor is surprisingly very funny, with the first act especially, which has a lot of energetic comedic moments. That all really worked for me, and I was very amused with how the humor played out. It goes away later on, but that makes sense, since that's where the stakes of the story are taken more seriously. And I overall was very attached to the plot. I found all of the three main girls to be really endearing. Rumi has an interesting conflict about secretly being a demon that could have been less heavy-handed, because like I said, it becomes rather repetitive. But it was a solid conflict that made me invested in her character. And both Mira and Zoe were very enjoyable as well, which makes the chemistry between the main characters really worthwhile to watch for the whole movie. The action is also impeccable, so kinetic in all of the set pieces, and they were very fluent visually, that made me really satisfied with how all of them played out, especially in the climax. All of the emotional scenes that aren't with Jinu are very effective as well, and the tone is so well handled that perfectly shifts from a comedy to an emotional thrill ride without any of it feeling unnatural due to how realistic it felt with the story. And the songs are magnificent. It isn't my style of music, but they were all still nice to listen to, and the movie does a wonderful job of being a musical, since all the songs were very exceptional, with my favorite being the final Saja Boy song, which was somewhat horrific. And all of the songs from the girls are just as amazing in their own right, so in general, banger music. And overall, while it has some stuff that wasn't very investing, it was still a ton of fun, with a lot of worthwhile attributes, and I would recommend it towards everyone, since it does leave you to be really satisfied with by the end, and you'll have a great time watching this entire movie. 8.6 out of 10. Goodbye everyone, and thank you for watching. Bye!